Today on Forbes, here's every billionaire who's given $1 million or more to help Kamala Harris get elected. During a speech about her economic policy plans in August in Raleigh, North Carolina, newly minted Democratic nominee Kamala Harris attacked Donald Trump for supporting tax cuts for the wealthy. She said, quote, "If you want to know who someone cares about, look at who they fight for. Donald Trump fights for billionaires and large corporations. I will fight to give money back to working and middle-class Americans." Even as she tries to claim the economic populism mantle, though, her campaign is bankrolled by plenty of billionaires. Forbes last examined the top Democratic megadonors funding Joe Biden's re-election campaign in June, using filings through the end of May. Since then, the top 10's total donations have jumped by nearly $10 million through the end of July, according to the most up-to-date federal filings. And plenty more billionaires have opened their pockets for Democrats. We now count 28 billionaires with a total net worth of $280 billion, who have given more than $1 million to groups supporting the Democratic presidential nominee. Biden's fundraising apparatus and all the money he had raised passed to Harris shortly after the president dropped out on July 21st, meaning that his donors became her donors. And while the Harris campaign and Democratic groups reported a tsunami of cash in the days and weeks following the candidate swap, because some groups' filings cover through the end of June and others through the end of July, when Harris had been the candidate for just 9 days, it remains to be seen just how much this group of megadonors shelled out for her specifically. And, more importantly, how much more they might give to her than they would have given to Biden. As of right now, former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg and LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman still lead the pack, with more than $20 million apiece to various groups backing the vice president. That includes around $3 million from each, doled out in the last 2 months on record. Additionally, former Google CEO Eric Schmidt has now surged into the top 10. Other newcomers include hospitality magnate John Pritzker, whose cousin J.B. Pritzker is the Democratic governor of Illinois, and hedge funder Tom Steyer, who ran for the Democratic nomination in 2020. Half of the 28 live in California. All but 4, including Oklahoman Lynn Schusterman and Coloradan Pat Stryker, live in a coastal state. The list also includes Dustin Moskovitz, who co-founded Facebook with his Harvard roommate Mark Zuckerberg. Moskovitz was for a time the youngest billionaire in the world. He is currently worth $18.4 billion. He and his wife have committed to giving away a majority of their fortune over their lifetimes. Moskovitz burst into the political scene in 2016 when he gave close to $20 million to left-leaning causes. He spent even more in 2020, giving nearly $50 million to support Biden. Most of Moskovitz's recent donations to pro-Harris groups took place during the 2022 midterms, so a large chunk of the $4.2 million he spent went to help down-ballot Democrats. He may be off to a relatively slow start this cycle, but Moskovitz tends to write big checks in the second half of the year. All of the Harris-backing billionaires' cash donations, $116 million in all, is still nearly 10% less than the $125 million given to Trump-backing groups by a single billionaire, Timothy Mellon, not to mention the other 25 billionaires who have backed his campaign. It's also only a bit more than the $72 million that a single nonprofit called Future Forward USA Action has given to a super PAC backing Harris. Thanks to its tax status, though, Future Forward USA Action doesn't have to disclose its donors, a list that, if public, would almost certainly include even more billionaires. For full coverage, and to see the whole list of Harris's billionaire backers, check out Kyle Kahn-Mullen's piece on forbes.com. This is Kieran Meadows from Forbes. Thanks for tuning in.